friends, so excited to start 2025. Wow. Can you believe that we're already into this new year? It's like today's date is, I really wanted to come on here before the year even started just to talk about a few things, but I didn't even get the chance to do that. And so I'm here today just to talk with you about kind of what to expect over the next few months on Life Builder. And I want to share some of my personal goals and stuff like that. So the whole point of this channel is really about how we build life together, health and wellness. We will talk a lot about health. I'm not a health expert. I've just been on a journey and I'm learning that, and I'm going to share some of my own personal journey in the videos ahead, and you'll hear me mention things throughout. But I also want to talk about my goals for this year, and I want to invite you to share your goals with me for this year, what you're hoping to accomplish and do. I am not a huge fan of New Year's resolutions. I just think they're things that we do and then they get old in a few months and then we stop doing them. But I do love setting goals, and I like tracking the goals that I set and sitting down and really putting a lot of thought and effort. Not necessarily a lot of time, but just really what do I want to accomplish this year. And last year, every year we pick a phrase. And so as a family, we sit down and we talk about, everyone has their own individual ones. When our kids were younger, we would talk about phrases as a family that we were going to go through. So we all kind of had a vision or a plumb line for the whole year for us. So this year, I'm doing my own, and we kind of, because my family's all growing and they're all adults now, I'm in this phase of life where I am learning a lot of my own things. I talk about how often I have these big, brave moments because I'm just learning how to navigate life as not just a mom anymore. And so, which has been quite the journey, but I'll talk about that later. Because really the goal of Life Builder is to build life together. And you're going to hear me say that over and over. Part of the way that I feel like I can do that is just to share my life, my process, my story, my journey, the things that I'm going through, and invite you into that process with me, but also encourage you in your own process of life. And hopefully we'll find some common grounds and some places where we can see some victories, and in our lows, we can work through the lows together. But I think it's just going to be a phenomenal year. So my phrase for this year, like I said, every year we try to get a phrase. And so my phrase for this year, and it also happens to be Brian's, we're sharing ours, which oftentimes we do, but is come alive in 2025. They don't always rhyme. They don't always make this beautiful sense. Maybe one of these videos I'll go through some of our older ones that we used to do. But really my goal this year, my desire this year is to come alive in all kinds of areas of my life. Places where I've just kind of been stagnant or settling, I want to come alive. We do this thing, so I'm going to share this with you. I have them right here, close at hand. We call it 7 areas of greatness. So every year we sit down and we talk through these 7 areas and some goals we want to have in each area. I'm all about habit installation. I don't want to just have a random goal here or there, but I want to be intentional with what I'm doing, and I want to grow and become the better version of myself. And as we know, life shifts and changes, and so from being a mother to 5 boys, young boys, now I'm a mother to 5 adult boys, and now I have daughter-in-laws, and life is just ever changing. Learning how to navigate all those things and just being able to share them with people and hopefully be a hope and encouragement. And so with that, my goal, my theme for this year is come alive in 25. And there's 7 areas that we look at as a family where we come alive. We've taught this to our children. I do this every year. Brian does this every year. We get together and we kind of discuss all of our different ones and what we're doing. And maybe I'll even ask some of my boys or some of our friends to come on that do this with us to share 1 or 2 of their areas. I don't know, maybe. But I want to share kind of those 7 areas because for the next 7 months, I'm going to pick 1 area a month, and I'm just going to, one of the videos each week, I'm just going to talk about that area. And so ideas, highlights, my own goals that I have in them. Some of them are very simple, some of them are very hard. But I want to be able to share this with you. So here, Brian created a book that's pretty awesome. It's called The 7 Areas of Greatness. And it's basically like a journal. And it has everything. It talks to you about how to set goals. It's got everything you need in it. It's awesome. So he created this because we've been doing this for years and years and years. But he created this so that you could sit down and through the year track your progress. It talks about SMART goals, time blocking. There's a 30-day challenge there. There's so many great things. So you can definitely go pick this up. We'd love for you to do that, but I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to just show you the resources that I use to help craft some of the things, and hopefully it'll help you. along the way. But in this book, it has the 7 areas that we look at every single year. And so I want to go through those and just tell you kind of the structure that I'm going to have for this year, what I'm hoping to do, along with a few exciting things that are happening in my life and family. Okay, so there's 7 areas, and the 7 areas are business and career. So we have this little brainstorming worksheet. We give them out every year to our kids and any of our friends that want to come over. But the 7 areas, I want to read them to you. And if you would like this brainstorming worksheet, I would love to make it available to you, that you can just grab it and start working on it. The book is the best because it breaks everything down for you, and it kind of shows you how to set SMART goals. It goes through all those things. I may mention those here and there, but I'm not going to do a deep dive into all that stuff. You can get the book if you want to do that. Brian also has some free videos that he's put up that could be great for that. But I'm telling you this process because it's what I use for me to set my goals every year. And then one of the days I'll bring in my journal. I first do everything on this paper, on these papers, and then I put them in my planner for the year so I can go back and refer to them. But the 7 areas that we're going to be looking at over the next 7 months is going to be business, which is career and calling, income, wealth and finances, physical, which is health and fitness. You'll hear a lot about health and fitness on this channel because that's one of the main things that I want to be about. And in some videos later, you're going to hear me talk about why I want to be about health and fitness and just my own personal journey that I've been through. Personal growth, which is intellect and skill. Experience, travel, and adventure. You'll hear a lot about that because if you've watched any of my husband's stuff, the Holy Roller channel, we go on cruises and we love to travel and have some great adventures with our family. Spiritual development, faith in God. You'll hear about that too. I love God. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm so grateful that Jesus is my Savior. And so you will hear threads of that throughout this channel and just things that God's doing in and through my life. And as we go through that one of the months, we're going to talk about spiritual development. I'll share some of what I'm doing. And then relationships, family, and friends. And so over the next 7 months, each month I'm going to pick one of these and we're just going to do little short videos, talk about it. I'm going to throw some challenges out that I'd love for you to jump in on if you'd like to, just to help grow and kind of think through these things. The whole point of the 7 areas of greatness is we really do believe that if you can start to grow in these 7 areas, you're going to see your life transformed in such a sweet way. And I've seen that happen with the intentionality and the purpose behind why we do what we do. It's easy to just kind of do life sometimes or to get caught up in life, but we want to own our life. We want to thrive in our life. And so this is just one resource that I'm so grateful Brian put into a book form, but then created these worksheets that we can use. And you'll see mine. I write all over it and I scratch things out and change things. And it is a process because I don't want to set myself up for failure. I want to set myself up for success every year. And so some of my goals are pretty simple. And so you'll see that as we jump into it. The other thing I'm going to be talking about on here is I'm going to be doing a physical transformation challenge for myself, and I'm going to invite you into that process. This is Life Builder. We're building life together, and that means you get to see the good, the bad, the ugly, not just the pretty, wonderful stuff. And so in that, like I said, I'm going to share some of my journey of what I started with my health years and years ago and where I'm at now and why I'm continuing on. One of the biggest reasons for I'm going for a physical transformation is my youngest son is going to be getting married this summer. And I want to look and feel my best. And I'm not at that place where I used to be. Part of it's because I started menopause and life happens and all these things. I've gained weight that I didn't want to gain. And this is kind of my cycle of life. And you'll hear more about that later. But I want this physical transformation because I just want to go into my youngest son's wedding just really thriving and feeling and looking good. And for me, the physical transformation is my appearance, but I have to get the mental side too. And when I started my health journey, I think it's been 6 years now, I lost a lot of weight in the very beginning, worked really hard for years on the mental side of getting healthy, which is a whole different thing. And then now I'm at the place where I can couple both of them together really, really well. So I'm going to talk a lot about that and invite you into that journey and that process. And I'd love to hear some of your stuff too and invite you to maybe go for a physical transformation that you're looking for. Because we are about health and we are about wellness. And we want to build life together. And so that's what we're going to do. And the other thing is each week I'm going to try to do some weekly challenges. And they may be simple things like drinking hydrogenated water. I love my hydrogenated water. That may be one of the challenges. It might be nutrition. I'm going to talk about my nutrition plan, getting ready to go through this transformation. And I've talked to a couple of my kids. They're probably going to come on here and just share. They're all doing a different journey, transformation journey, or getting healthy in some ways where maybe they slipped or let things go. They're going to come on here, a couple of them, and just share what they're doing, because we're all doing something a little different. There are baselines for what we need when it comes to nutrition and our fitness and the mental side of things, but our bodies are also different, and so it really is kind of figuring out what's going to work well for each person. But we have that baseline, and so a couple of my kids are doing their own journey. One of my boys is going to do 75 hard. One of my boys is just doing 100 different things, or I can't remember what it's called, but he's doing like 100 days of one challenge, but he's doing multiple challenges in that 100 days, and he's working on his nutrition, and so all these things. So you'll get to hear kind of a little bit their story. So it's not just going to be all about me. You're going to get to hear some of Brian and kind of what he's going to start doing for his health and wellness. He just had his 50th birthday. Age is a real thing, and so we are not that old, but we can't pretend like we're that young either. And so really being wise on what we're doing with our bodies and putting into our bodies. So I'm going to do a weekly challenge, and that's going to be super fun. I hope that you'll jump in on it with me, or not. But a lot of this too is kind of a big break for me, if I can be honest with you. I've thought about this for years and years and years. And we moved to Colorado in 2008 and from California, and it was a very challenging season. And I remember we moved to this one little town. I was like, I'm going to video this. And I found a video from a long time ago. And if I can find it again, maybe I'll put it up. But I was going to secretly record my transformation process. And I never did. And this year, I'm going to come alive. And part of that is not being afraid to be bold and live my life out loud. And I've always, and really when I say always, I kind of mean always, have gone to the shadows when it comes to my personal stuff, or I let what people think about me or say about me stop me. Like, I think they have this belief about me, or like, I don't want to be too pushy, I don't want to be this, I don't want to be that, I don't want to be, and so I've just stopped, and I haven't lived my life out loud. And this year I'm just going to come alive in all the places that I can. So part of this process is really me living out loud, living up front, where people can just see it, and I'm not going to care what people think or what they choose to say, or if they think I'm whatever. It doesn't matter to me anymore, because I want to live my best life for myself and my family, my friends, and I just want to encourage people along the way and give hope that it's possible. So buckle up, my friends, because Life Builder in 2025, we're coming alive, and we're coming alive together, and it's going to be so fun and challenging, but it's going to be wonderful. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you as we do some of these weekly challenges, what you're doing. And you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but the goal is for you to have a platform and a place for you to even just express some of the challenges that you're putting yourself through, some of the transformations that you want to have, some of the goals that you're reaching after, some of the ways that we can just build life together, because we all know that we're better together. I learn from you, you learn from me. The Word of God talks about as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And really that's true in all areas of life. We can make each other sharper and stronger and better just by communicating what we're doing. So I'm super pumped for 2025. I'm super pumped to come alive with you in my own life and just to see what's going to happen. And so buckle up and get ready for a really good ride. Or maybe it's going to be boring and horrible, but we're still going to do it together. Crash and burn or fly the highest heights. We're going to be in this together, and I think it's going to be awesome. So I will see you next time. Remember, we're just building life together. That's what this is about. One step at a time, one habit at a time, one day at a time. It's just building life together. So let's go do that. Let's build some life together.